RezoCast, episode 72, now sponsored by Blue Microphone and Headphones. This is Lego. Yes, I finally returned after like 3 weeks. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been here, it feels like. I lost my voice. I was gone.
It was great when he lost his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But yes, I've got here with me just Hov. Not all the Asians have abandoned us. They took over our podcast and then they left us for nothing. Like, I don't know. They're just gone.
Shit got real.
Yeah, they were like, I guess they didn't like all the new Destiny info we get. We're getting a lot of Destiny info right now.
There's things happening.
I feel like almost like over. So like I told Hov before we started, I was like, I feel like, they could have saved some of the information in the This Week at Bungie for next week in case they didn't have something to share, because there was like so much to read that you kind of like, okay, I kind of want to do something else now. I've been reading for like 10 minutes,
Right.
So, but yeah, Hov, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Not a ton of gaming the last week, but did get to play some Iron Banner. Did the usual, PUBG and Overwatch, doing a little bit of everything, but
yeah.
Every few weeks ago, work was busy and now it's going to be not busy. And then it stays busy. So, yeah, that's been happening. But I'm going to DC this weekend, so I won't be around.
Oh, that sounds so fun. I love DC. Like, regardless what you think of politics, like, DC is
I really do like DC. I didn't think I would, like, when I was younger. I didn't want to go.
Same.
And now I love it.
Yeah, for food alone, like, I feel like it's worth checking out. But yeah, my week has been, it was a lot of work, I guess, the weeks I was gone, work myself to the loss of my voice, basically. But during that time, though, I got into, I don't think I mentioned on the podcast, I don't think I've been on since I started doing it, but I started playing Battlefield 4 again, which is random, but it was on sale on PSN for like $12 for premium for like everything, all the expansions. And so me and a bunch of college buddies got that. Been playing that because you can squad up, team of 5. And that's been a blast. It's 64 players in a map, so you don't really, like, I needed a multiplayer game that I didn't have to think or try hard basically at all, and that really does it for me, because PUBG and Destiny 2 are like my other two, and you have to try really hard in both of those most of the time.
I don't try very hard.
Well, are you talking about PUBG just doing backflips on motorcycles the entire time?
Yeah. We got so far to get the zone. Drop me off of that motorcycle. I want to do backflips.
But no, so that's been fun. And also played a lot of Iron Banner. Like, not as much as Wilson played, because Wilson's been on like every night. Like, but I at least played the equivalent of Destiny 1, like rank 5 all characters, is what it felt like. Because I was doing the challenges or the achievements, basically, your daily milestones, basically, for Iron Banner that gets you the 15 coins. You can do it on every character. So I did that basically every day, like on at least one character, if not all. And I got all the weapons, new scout rifle, new hand cannon, and the new shotgun. Got all those. The only thing that I did not get was the ship. I got the Sparrow, the Ghost, and the Sparrow looks awesome, so I'm really happy about that.
I didn't get anything. I suck.
Really? You didn't get nothing?
Nothing.
You didn't even get a new weapon at all?
I might have got one weapon, maybe.
I
don't remember.
So the weapons, the shotgun, Papa Bear, another Rezo guy, was using the shotgun. It's the single slug that that has like crazy range on it, but you have to hit a headshot. But he was doing really well with it. I'm just not good at shooting people in the face in Destiny. I'm more of a aim at the feet guy and let your weapon charge. So
let your weapon kill everyone for you because you can't do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was really enjoying the shotgun. And the range is crazy on it. And then also the hand cannon, while it's not it's really sluggish, it can 3-tap because it's one of the hard-hitting ones. If you get 3 headshots, you can 3-tap someone. And I did it a few times, and it was really satisfying.
Yeah, but the slow ones weren't even good when they could 2-tap, so...
Yeah, I know. And so it's not ideal, but it did make me feel like really powerful for like a second. But it's such a sluggish gun that it's so difficult to do that I put it away pretty quick. But it was fun to try out, mess around with. The real thing that I got at Iron Banner that I really like actually was the scout rifle, which not a lot of people are into this archetype, but the fast firing scout rifles, the Vice, like fully auto scouts, I really liked Dead Orbit's version of it. And this one has high cal rounds on it, and it's full auto. And if you hit all headshots, it's one of the fastest time to kills in the game. It's really difficult to hit all the headshots, but with high cal, you can afford to miss a little bit, I feel like.
How many shots is it if you shoot at their feet?
Oh, a lot. Like the worst time to kill in the game. So, yeah, if you're aiming fusion rifle level, you're not going to fare too well.
That's fair.
I'm trying to think. I did want to talk about Iron Banner for a second to see what you thought about the new rewards for it before we get into anything else, because the packages and stuff work the same, but you could buy stuff now. And how did you feel about all that?
Well, like I said, I didn't get to play too much, but I know it seems like the consensus that I saw on Twitter, at least from the level-headed reactions I saw, were pretty positive in the way it was working now. I know when you and I played the first night, I think, it was something like 60 tokens to buy something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But didn't that go... I saw Pope Bear saying something about he was buying stuff for like 10 or 20. Did it go down as you like got... Did something change?
No, the armor is really cheap. Maybe that's what he was talking about, because the armor is a lot cheaper and a lot easier to get. But those new weapons, you could buy any of the new weapons, but it was like 60 coins for each one.
See,
and
I'm kind of okay with that, though, I think, because then that kind of, the armor, you can get full sets a little bit easier. But the weapons, maybe, if you don't grind the crap out of it, which you can do, it is an option, maybe you get one. Maybe you get two. You can't just go out and get all the weapons. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I like it.
Yeah. So I'll talk about the positives for 1 second, because I have some critiques on the reward system. For me, overall, it was really great. Like you said, I didn't hear much complaining about anything. I like the way the armor works. I really like the ornaments and that system, and it gave you some challenges to do throughout the week, and you can do them all season. But of course, everyone's trying to complete them within this 1 week, and I got them all done except for there's one that requires melee or grenade kills. I think it was the chest piece that requires it, and that takes some time. Like, I was running on a Titan, so I'm throwing quite a few grenades and quite a few punches, and I still only got like 35% or something like that all week
But
long.
See, I'm good with that, because again, it's over multiple Iron Banners. Like, if everybody went in and got all of the ornaments and did all the challenges in the first week, we'd all be bitching that there was nothing left to get. So, I mean,
exactly.
You can only have it one way or the other. I think it's good that it takes some time like that.
No, and that isn't a complaint of mine. I think it's great. I'm right there.
You are a
with
big
you.
complainer.
Yeah, totally. No, I like the ornaments. I like the way they work. I like that somebody was saying, I think it was Briar Rabbit actually made a tweet about how good the new system is with them releasing new armor this way, because it doesn't take up an armor slot. It just is, you unlock it and then you have it. You can apply it if you want, take it off if you want, but you only keep one set of armor. And that actually is really smart, because then you don't have to like keep all this stuff in your vault. You just keep one set of Iron Banner gear, and then for every season you'll have new ornaments, and you just put them on and off.
That is kind of smart, actually.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. And then I also like that it unlocks for every character. If you do it on one, you don't have to do that grind again. So while it can be a long grind, like for the melee and grenade thing, you don't have to do it again with like your hunter. You can do them all on your Titan, and it unlocks for every character that ornament. You still have to earn the gear,
right?
So it's still a grind, but you have the ornament for all of them. So that's cool. The two areas that I feel like could be improved, and you and me went back and forth on one of them.
Never.
I know that never happens. Me and Ho, no. Well, one thing that I didn't talk to you about was the shaders. The new one, the Ironwood, I really like it, and that was like the main reason I was playing. and I opened 30 packages and only got a total of 8 shaders. So I got only 4 times out of 4 of those 30 I got shaders, which is
I don't
crazy.
need. You said it's called Ironwood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't need that because I've always had Ironwood, so I don't really need to get the shader.
Well, this shader is very shiny.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It pleases everybody.
It does. It's very reflective.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how to get Hov to not agree with me here. But okay, let me get out of what it looks like because it's very difficult to get these, which is fine. You know, I like that it's a grind, like we were saying earlier. But I don't like that that's the one thing you can't buy. Like, if I didn't get enough of them, but I played a ton of Iron Banner, I feel like I should be able to use some coins to buy some shaders. Like, that would be nice.
I agree with that. I do know that they have mentioned, right? Maybe not in the official things, but they've mentioned looking at shaders being different, like maybe going back sort of to D1. So, like, once you have it, you just have it.
That's true. We don't know what they're going to do, but they are looking at shaders right now. If it's just for this system for season 2, it would be nice for next time Iron Banner rolls around. Hey, you played a ton of Iron Banner, you can purchase these now. You know, that would be nice.
Well, if there's any time you feel like you need some more Ironwood, just let me know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, the other thing that I would go that I will argue against you on is the coin system for the weapons. So I like that you can buy them. I like that they're expensive. The thing that I don't like is that they're expensive in a way where, like, you turn in all your coins to get the packages. And so if you don't get the weapons after you open your packages, you can't use the coins because you spent them all on the packages. And I want the shaders, but I also want the guns. And so you have to choose, like, do I want to gamble for some shaders and open up a package and hope I get a weapon? Because if I don't, you know, then I'm out of coins. That's it. It's like a gambling thing, you know. And I would rather it be where I played a ton of Iron Banner, I got some rewards, but if I didn't, you know, I ranked up enough to where I could use like legendary marks or something to buy the weapons. I feel like that makes more sense to me. Even if it's really expensive, that's fine.
Well, did you get one of the 2 things out of that? Did you get some shaders or the weapon?
Oh, I got all 3 weapons, so it worked. I'm not
in one Iron Banner. So what are you? No, your point is invalid. Move on.
You're right. It is kind of invalid, but I stick with the shader thing. I would like to buy the shaders because
that's fair. I just don't see them changing the way you get those when they've said they're going to change the way shaders work.
Yeah,
or looking at that at least. So I don't see them making any changes to that. Like, I agree with you. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, do you have anything else on Iron Banner? Because we got a new event to talk about. If not,
I mean, I can elaborate on the Ironwood if you want.
No, okay, we're done with this event. Okay, so we've got.
I just want anyone who's here listening, or even in watching on YouTube or later if you're not live. I even discussed with Lego earlier, just before this, when we were talking about how it was just gonna be the 2 of us. I said, you realize this is just gonna be me giving you a hard time for like an hour. He was like, I know, like with the most like dejected sound in his voice, like, I know. So
I'm gonna try to resist as much as possible and combat with my own ideology and what I think Destiny should be, but we'll see how much Hov just puts me down.
I mean, I don't put you down.
I just don't want you to bring out the Ironwood, you know. I don't need that in this podcast.
Some people can't handle the Ironwood.
Okay, so we got Crimson Days coming up. February 13th, this coming Tuesday. 2v2. It's something we've never seen in Destiny before. A whole new, like, player versus player thing. Like Mayhem, we were still 4v4.
Well, you know, no, we've seen doubles.
Well, we haven't in Destiny 2.
In Destiny 2. Okay, yeah, you just said in Destiny.
Sorry. Yeah. So Destiny 1, we had lots of different things. So we had 3v3, Rumble, 6v6, and then we got 2v2. We've only had 4v4 in Destiny 2 so far. This is the first time we're going to have something different. And so that's why as soon as I saw 2v2, I was like, yes, it's actually happening. Oh my gosh, we're getting, like, we figured it was coming. Some people have been speculating 2v2v2, but 2v2 is
didn't they mention something about that? I want to say one of the
Somebody
devs
did.
said something about like experimenting with things, and they said
Yes.
something like 3v3v3 or something.
Yes.
Not
Oh,
something
I
that was
think
coming, but something like they were looking at different things.
I think it was Faction Wars. They were talking about
Yeah,
Faction Rally and
yeah,
how
yeah,
to
yeah.
change it up, which that is super exciting. So, but this is exciting, even just for now, just a change in the way we've been playing the Crucible in particular, 2v2, and we get it this Tuesday. And with it, we get a new map, kind of. Burning Shrine, though, without the giant burning sun. It's in an alternate timeline, which is so cool that they took out the thing that was annoying about a really good map and used the story to do it. Like they're like, this is an alternate, timeline using, maybe the Infinite Forest, maybe even to get there. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know
was
if they
saying
elaborated.
well,
I
they just say it's a
figured.
future timeline where the Vexes have succeeded in altering our reality.
Exactly. Yeah. So we can actually go and play there where the sun's burnt out and where you don't have a big glare in your eye.
And speaking of that, it's called the Burnout now.
Oh yeah, okay. The burnout, which is perfect. Yeah. So we got that new map, and then we got the 2v2 and it's basically going to be Clash.
Real quick before
with
you move on the map thing, do you think what they said after this? Do you think this is completely just a play on words, or they said the sun is darkened and the only light to be found comes from you and your partner fighting as one? Is that just like a play on words? Like, I know they capitalized light, but are they saying like it's gonna be really dark?
I mean, the map looks dark if you look at the pictures, and supers and lights that are in the map do look like they burn bright, like they have a glow to them more than on other maps. So that will be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the
Like,
map
I didn't know if
design
it was
looks awesome.
completely play on words or if it was actually, because like you said, it's like a bright, like all the lights that used to be white/yellow-ish are like a bright red. And it almost looks like those are actually what's illuminating the map as opposed to like ambient light just being throughout the map.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I didn't read it as that, but the map does look, in the screenshots, it does look like players and their weapons and stuff do shine more in such a dark environment. One thing that I'm curious about, and I'm curious what you think about it, is how the map is going to play out versus the way it used to in D1, because I've noticed with the other map that they brought back recently, I just happened to be on Twitch this morning and saw Lyncher get on, and he jumped on Destiny 1 for a second, and it was the map that is now in D2 that we already have. And it was just playing so differently. Everybody had snipers, so they were running the lanes out of the cave to be and everything. And I was thinking in my head, like, man, the lanes play so differently in Destiny 2. Like some of the lanes are the same, but you play like you're not afraid to like poke your head out for a second.
Yeah.
You're not going to get domed, And so I'm wondering how Burning Shrine, or now the Burnout, is going to work now that it's in D2. Will the lanes play differently? Will there be different hot zones, you think, than there were in D1?
I mean, it's weird because part of me wants to say it's going to be drastically different, but also not that much different.
Yeah.
Because I still think a lot of the same places, and now granted, I keep looking at this through the lens of elimination because that's where I played most of Burning.
That's
like
true.
I definitely played more Trials and Burning Shrine than any other game mode.
Ooh.
And you used to have we both run from spawn into the middle spinning rooms and someone snipes across. That's out. That lane, that's done. You used to have people sniping back and forth on the bridge, like kind of head glitching those stairs. And you used to have, or shotgunning, you kind of jump up there and come right in. And same thing. Now the sun would change that too, but remember people used to sit outside in the sun and head glitch that.
Yeah.
So all of that it's going to change in the sense that, that's not going to be there. But I feel like, especially the bridge lane is still going to be there. People are still going to like poke that lane back and forth. It's just who's going to be team shotting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
But
I'm
it would
curious.
still be different because you can't have all four people standing in there either. So
Yeah, yeah. Instead of a sniper, you're gonna come around into the outside, and instead of a sniper with the sun, there's just gonna be four people on each other's butts with Midas,
Yeah.
like waiting there for you.
So I definitely think like like I said, it's going to play very different in a way, but also, I mean, I don't think the lanes themselves are going to change much, but the way that it is played, I think will definitely change a good bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm with you though. Like you said, it's gonna be the same but different too. Like they'll be the same lanes probably, but they'll work a little differently. You know?
Absolutely. I do think you'll see, I guess you will see some engagements more often in places that you didn't before. I mean, it wasn't a big map, like most of it got used, but
Hmm.
like I said, everything kind of went to, like, even if you went to the back area with the circle inside, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
like the lifted
Hmm.
up circle. You'd like get into a fight there, and then someone would run up the A or C lane and go to that bridge. And
Yeah.
then it would turn into like, hey, they're on the bridge. Someone would go to the other side of the bridge. That's not going to happen as much because you don't have to worry about people sniping as much. Not that I'm happy about that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. You'll see engagements move around a lot more because time to kill is slower, and everything else we've talked about for the last 6 months.
Yeah, well, probably more interesting than just one new map and how that's going to play out is the new 2v2, and it's coming with a new spin on Clash. So instead of in Destiny 1 Crimson Days, the modifier was when your teammate died, your double partner died, then you got a buff that let you reload faster and regen faster and all this stuff, move faster. And now instead, it's kind of the opposite of that. So if you stay in close proximity with your doubles partner, your abilities recharge faster. And if you stray too far from them, you show up on the map for the enemy and you're indicated like in some way, which is gonna be is gonna be super interesting. Like I'm a little like hesitant about
I
this.
hate it. I hate it in theory.
I
It's
know.
promoting everything we've complained about in Destiny
Yes.
2 PvP.
And it's funny because I got on this morning or yesterday morning, whenever they announced it, and I was looking at everybody was so happy about Crimson Days coming back, mainly because of the reward changes, which we'll get to in a second. But everybody was so overwhelmingly positive. I was like, oh, this is going to be really great. I'm so excited for 2v2, wonder how it's going to work. And then I read about it. I'm like, wait, no, this is what we don't want.
At
We already have
all.
people
Like,
riding each other.
Bungie,
Like,
please, why?
okay, all that being said, we haven't played it yet. We don't know how it's going to turn out
Yes, we
because
do.
no, it's only two people. Like it's 2v2. It's not going
But
to be the
still, like,
same team shotting.
maybe this is anecdotal and just me, but I don't want to run around with you the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
not you in particular, but also you in particular.
But also
Like,
me in particular.
and especially like, yeah, I know, find a doubles partner that plays the way you do, whatever. But like, you and I specifically play very differently.
And we work good that way. Like I see that's my problem is I like flanking. That
Yeah, so do I.
I use the logic of what I think the other person is doing and what they're looking at to go the other direction while they're focused on you or somebody else. And so,
Granted,
like,
six times out of 10, I roll around the corner and they're both looking at me because they knew I was coming. But I like the idea of flanking.
yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. How could that be better than the previous modifier we used to have?
I think, even though I still wouldn't like it because it still promotes the whole stand next to your partner and team shot, I would be okay with just your abilities recharge slowly. But when you start showing up on the map, I think that's terrible. If it works the way I'm like picturing it, because if your stuff recharged slower or even stopped, that I think could be interesting if you just took that, because then it would promote like teamwork, stay together until you have your abilities, and then split off and go after them maybe. But as it stands now, the second you split off, it's like, oh hey, this guy's flanking over here, right here, yep, right there, yeah, he's there.
Yeah. See, in my mind, I was like, this should be the other way around. This should be your abilities charge faster when you're by yourself, and you have a target on you if you stay too close together. Like that would be way more interesting to me.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Because it would also kind of play into that power fantasy that we wanted from Mayhem. Like when you go by yourself, you get more powerful.
Yeah, people
Like,
were going off by themselves, and that's what made it fun.
that's what I mean. This is the antithesis of what we wanted. Like it's
I don't. Yeah, we're just gonna have to play it. But I'm with you on the initial reading and impression of this. You're like, why? Why is it this way?
Yeah.
I don't
And like I said,
understand.
I'd be okay if it wasn't for the waypoint, like you showing up where they are. Cuz that would be cool. Like, hey, you can go off by yourself,
Hmm.
but you don't have all
The
of your
ability
abilities and
recharge. Yeah.
powers. So that would be kind of neat. Like it would be a risk reward type thing. Do you get a good flank and surprise them? Because if you don't have any grenades to bail you out.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But the
That is.
fact that it's like, hey, here's a guy who can't recharge his abilities, go get him. I don't know. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wonder if sometimes flanking is going to be worth it in the doubles, even if you're marked. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I don't know. Because sticking together, I don't know. We'll just have to play it. I can't foretell what it's going to be like. But yes, I'm with you. Initial impression is like, why this way? Okay. So rewards though for it are pretty great. So they've introduced some changes. One of them being a knockout list for the new Crimson Engrams, where you only get new stuff until you have everything when you're opening them. So that's amazing. That's like right off the bat, way better than anything we have had before. And then when you level up in these events, you get a Crimson Engram and an Illuminated Engram just from leveling up. So you can play anything you want and still get Crimson Engrams. That's great. You
And
can also
they're not
do
capped
what?
or limited either.
Yeah, they're not capped or limited. That's great. Yeah. Specific rewards for specific quests within there is also great. So they've got a ghost and emblem you can get from just playing 5 matches and talking to some people in the tower. You get a chance for an exotic sparrow in the crucible. You can get a Wardcliff coil ornament from the last raid chest. So if you do the raid during this event, you get a special ornament, which is pretty cool and enticing to do the raid. And then you get a new emote from the Nightfall, doing the Nightfall while this event is going on. And so that's some pretty specific rewards tied to some specific things that you do in the game, which is something that we've asked a lot for. So pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I think the rewards are definitely good. And that was something they had mentioned earlier that they were going to start giving you both engrams during events and weren't going to cap them and all that stuff. So that's good. But I do like some of the stuff. You know, a Crimson Days emblem, a Crimson Days shell, a Crimson Days sparrow, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So that's good, and it's not in Eververse, which is something they did promise us. So I'm cool with that. One thing I'm curious about with the knockout list, and this is a small thing,
Yeah, yeah.
but with the vault space issue, right? People were already running into the ceiling on the vault space. Does that knockout list only show, like, does it only take into account what you currently have on your account? Like, say the shotgun is absolute garbage and I don't want it, okay? So I get it, but I delete it. Has it still been knocked off the list because I received it, or does it go through my account and know what I have?
Well, there are no weapons.
I'm just using it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's you know, I don't know. I would think
like I said,
that
small thing, but I'm just curious.
yeah. I would think it would go by once you have it, not if you have it somewhere, you know? But I don't know. It could work either way. So we need some, you know, scientists, Destiny scientists to figure this out.
I would also think that Bungie wouldn't continue to promote team shotting and discourage flanking, but here we are.
Here we are. Well, I do like some of the stuff that we're getting too. In particular, the shaders. This is the first time we've seen a jet black kind of color. And like I know some of the Dead Orbit stuff is kind of there, but looking at the screenshots for some of the, particularly there's like a red and black shader that's with this event.
Did they show the shaders?
Yeah, and you can see them in some of the screenshots, people wearing them and them on the weapons, and you can see it in the main thing. There's like a pink and red black one, and then there's a just black and red one. That black and red one, the black looks like pitch black.
Yeah.
And it looks you know how you equip some shaders and you don't see all the colors on some armor, and so I bet there's specific armor or specific weapons that when you equip that, it just makes it all black. So
I just hope it's very, in general, I hope it's very heavily weighted one side or the other, like maybe the two shaders. Like I don't want one to be like red and black. I want one to be like almost all black with like some red accents, almost like chroma, and maybe one that's like all red with like just black accents. Like I don't want it to kind of be like in the middle.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and that's what it looked like to me whenever I saw there's one screenshot you can see a shotgun in, and the whole shotgun's black except for like just the part where you hold it is like there's like a red spot right there, and like that is the perfect look. It's just like a little red accent.
Well, my question, you're not upset that there's no white shaders?
No, I see. Okay, I don't need all white stuff all the time. I'm ready. We have plenty of white shaders in D2. There's a ton. There's no all black shaders, and I'm missing my black and gold look from D1 because I had it down.
Are you all a Steelers fan?
I don't even know what colors any sports team are. I couldn't tell you.
If they're from Pittsburgh, they're black and gold because Pittsburgh's the only city where all their professional sports teams wear the same colors. This is a fact.
Well, it sounds like a city I like then.
No. You like white better.
Oh, okay. Well, I liked black and gold in D1, and I would love to see more of that. And I know some people use like the golds. There's like gold spiral, gold something in D2.
Gold spiral, I think, was D1.
You can get some gold something from Eververse in D2, and I don't like it. It's like a knockoff black. It is not black and gold. It's like a bronzy, purple bronze thing in gold. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not. It's like not quite there. But yeah. So overall, like I'm really happy about the knockout list. However it works, I'm just glad to have it. To be able to get stuff in the game for playing the game, that's great. That's all I want. So
I just hope like 90% of the Crimson Days event sounds awesome to me.
Mm-hmm.
God, I just hope doubles doesn't suck as bad as I'm pretty sure it's going to.
You think it's gonna suck, really?
Yeah, and like honestly, like I said, this may be an anecdotal just me thing, but if it really is where like if I don't run around with you, they know where I'm at, and I can't like the second I go off by myself, they just know where we're both at. I'm not gonna have any fun. I don't want to just sit there and fire 2 shots while you also fire 2 shots and everybody's dead. Like I don't want to do that. I won't do it.
Yeah. I really hope you're right. I really hope it is fun. Like
I do too. I like fun. I'm a child.
But I'm with you. Like I really hope it's not so quick to mark you when you're off by yourself. Like we can split off like maybe the last second or something like that and do something, because it is cool in some ways to stick together the way that they're like. I can imagine there being possibilities, but yeah, if it's pretty strict and if it's such a disadvantage, like the abilities charge a lot faster if you're together, I don't know, that just doesn't sound very fun. I'm with you.
It doesn't sound fun at all, and I will be sad.
I'm curious how power ammo is going to work in 2v2 as well. Like, is it just like how frequent will that come up and stuff?
I wonder where it's going to be on Burnout.
Probably right smack in the middle of the, the very center, all those
I guess
spinny
they could
things.
be like the same places.
They could
just
for when they both
wall.
spawn.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the TWAB. We're kind of done with Crimson Days here. There's a lot of TWAB stuff.
I can't get over. I'm so sad.
Wait, what are you sad about?
I'm still sad about doubles. I'm never gonna get over it.
I'm sad it's not. Was it an elimination in D1? Wasn't it not even like a clash thing? It was like elimination.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm sad about that.
Well, it's clash with rounds though.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know.
So I mean, does that really just become like? Wait, is it clash with rounds pretty much survival?
There's no rounds.
Yes, there is.
There's no rounds in this doubles in the new one. It's a thing on Clash. There's no like revive. You just revive in the map, I'm pretty sure.
The combat scenario is 2v2 Clash with a round-based twist.
Oh, okay. You're right.
AKA survival. Right?
Yeah. You're right, it is survival.
Pretty much.
Huh.
Lego, so for anyone who's listening, Lego just like slouched off to the side and was like real quiet, like thinking.
I am. I'm thinking about how whenever one of you dies, it's literally so much the opposite, because when one of you dies now, and the other two are there, even if you run away, you're going to get marked because you're not with your teammate. Right?
Again, depending on how long respawn timers versus the timer for this waypoint is. If say you have to be gone 5 seconds and the respawn timer is 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's still a lot we don't know, but I don't know what the round-based twist, quote unquote, is, but like it's Clash and it has some sort of rounds, right? So
yeah,
you would have to think each round would end when someone gets to a certain score, which then becomes still the equivalent of 5 kills. So it would be survival with 5 lives. Like I don't know, that's how I feel. I was so excited about Crimson Days, and now I'm on this stupid podcast, and now I'm super sad. Just bring back the Broken Heart buff again, please.
Okay, well, let's talk about something that you did really like that they're actually making even more crazy in D1. The TWAB came out, and the devs came out. A lot of devs came out for this, talking about Nightfall changes. First off, we had Christopher Barrett coming out talking about Nightfall scoring. We're getting Nightfall scoring, and at first he talked about like overall vision for what we're eventually going to get, like specific rewards for specific strikes, and talked about an emblem, which we're going to go into detail here with, and how they didn't really like the timer because it was making people stressed out. People wanted to solo it and take their time like they did in D1. I heard a lot of people talk about that, and honestly, I kind of stray away from the Nightfall being timed. Like, I thought it was fun doing it, but there's something about it that makes me not want to get into it unless I have 2 people for sure, like, ready to do it with me,
super MLG Destiny players.
Yeah, like some extreme PvE players
like
from Rezo.
Like
no, not like you. Like
why not like me?
No, you're more PvP.
I'm sorry. Who won the strike scoring challenges last year?
I don't know what you're talking about. We might need a rematch because I don't remember any kind of.
I will smoke you. I will give you the Ironwood.
Well, it's not it's not based off of just any singular score. The changes they're making here, Nightfall scoring, they're doing team-based scoring, and of course you can brag about it if you had the best score, but they're going for more. It's more about they wanted you to kill more enemies and not just run through the whole thing, and create more orbs. So you'll get more score points for orbs are going to be a big thing, apparently.
But they also do want you to run through it because there's still a timer-based thing going on.
I'm sure they've hit a pretty good balance here because, it's after 15 minutes, the kill score starts getting cut in half. And then after 18, you don't get anything.
Well, not only that, as you're not killing things, your score starts decaying. Yes,
there's a score decay, yeah. Which they didn't go into detail about that. Like how much it's going to be or anything. But they have up the rewards for kills. And so you're trying to get like this max score. And what that does is you unlock emblems. Emblems are going to be in here from the get-go. Because as you unlock the emblems, that shows like what the high score is for that week, I guess, like what the challenge score you're trying to meet is. And if you meet that challenge score, then that's how it activates the aura, the Nightfall aura for that week. And not only that, you don't only get that, but you also get emblems give you a 25% Vanguard buff if you reach that challenge score. And so what that does is like, you're running strikes throughout the week and you're getting all these extra engrams. It's actually an incentive to get that aura now. Kind of like, we used to get the XP buff back in D1. And there's like a reason to do the Nightfall at the beginning of the week. Now we have a reason to do a Nightfall at the beginning of the week if we're going to be doing some strikes later on. So yeah, and it's cool. It's specifically for PvE stuff. Like you get rewarded more PvE for doing PvE. And then also with the emblems, there's going to be new emblems that are like really hard to reach. They said like they want it to be really difficult. Not everyone's going to be able to get these unless you're really good at doing the Nightfall. You get a really high score, you unlock some special emblem for doing that really high score. So that sounds awesome. We always talk about exclusive stuff and getting things that you can show off that's like, yeah, I'm really good I've got the Nightfall down, man, so that would be awesome. I don't personally have the Nightfall down, but I'm sure we've got some pretty awesome Rezo PvE people, and maybe they can show me the way. We'll see.
We shall see.
What do you think about the Nightfall scoring stuff? I think, we haven't even talked about the Prestige Nightfall yet, but just Nightfall scoring in general. Do you think it's gonna, have you been doing your Nightfalls? And if not, do you think it's gonna get you to play some more?
I think it all sounds pretty good. I don't know on my own.
Hmm.
I'll just jump into them, but definitely I'll be more willing if someone's like, "Hey, you want to run a Nightfall?" Like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll beat your ass in Nightfall scoring, not a problem. There was one part in here. I think it was from Tyson Green. It was like he was speaking directly to me. It was when they were saying scoring is team based. A team should be able to focus on what works best, not feeling put out by who stole whose kill. I was like, oh, but that's what I do. Like, that's how I do it. And actually,
Do you not think you're gonna have individual scores still at the end of the match? Like, I feel like they'll still have that.
I don't know, but like part of the thing was, who actually got the kill. I guess like they're saying, who stole kills, and honestly, some of these things will probably help you specifically. No, in all seriousness, like, what's your favorite type of weapon in Destiny?
Oh yeah, like fusion rifles.
What kind of weapon cannot get a precision kill?
Oh yeah, fusion rifles.
Right, and they were saying that gave you more points. They wanted to move away from that. So
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's interesting.
so they're pretty much speaking directly to me and you. They're like, we want Lego to have a chance against Hov.
Right, right.
So
I'm sure that's what they're saying.
yeah, no, I mean it says it right here. Did you miss that part?
I missed the part about Lego and Hove. Yeah, I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't see that.
But yeah, I like it. I like competing and stuff. I'm a very competitive person. Even if people are like, I don't know, I don't care. I'm like, well, I care. I care a lot, and I want.
And even if you didn't think you'd care, you do now because it's Nightfall scoring is back.
Yeah.
They've also brought some changes to Prestige Nightfall, which I still haven't even done a Prestige Nightfall, but this sounds like something I would want to do. Adding modifiers to the score, so they've got some modifiers that they're adding in that gives you more extra points, basically. If you want to reach really high scores, maybe get some emblem, maybe get like that Nightfall buff easier, I guess. I don't know what all ways this will play in, like what is going to be the advantages of doing the Prestige Nightfall over the normal, but they made it clear that you'll be getting more points for some of these. So the modifiers that they're going to have in it here at the beginning, they've got a Solar Arc and Void Singe one.
AKA burn.
It burns, yeah, basically. But
yes,
they've also added Extinguish, boots to orbit on wipe, which is amazing. I love this. I love that in D1, and then they took it out of D1, and now it's back in D2. Of course, for Prestige, like a really hard, supposed to be difficult, but it adds that, you can do it at that slow pace. You just can't wipe. And that's awesome. I love that change.
Yeah, I think especially it works well with the scoring versus the score decay with that, but not having a timer. Like, it makes you strike a balance between how fast do we want to push through here and how safe do we want to be.
Yeah, it's great. You think there'll be more hiding places come to light because of this?
Probably, yeah. See, it's not something that I'm really gonna have to worry about though. It's more for my competition that they'll be able to. I'll feel bad when they get wiped back to orbit, but since I don't ever wipe, it's not a mod. I'll just turn it on for everything because I don't ever wipe.
It would be interesting because, we'll be able to see these emblems throughout the week. It'll be interesting if it becomes like a clan thing, like who can get the highest score throughout the week kind of thing. Like, oh, yeah, well, we got this one. Like, see if somebody can top that. Like, how you do raid races, like for Rezo sometimes? Like, you could do a Nightfall race and whoever, just judge it by whoever had the highest score because that determines how fast you did it and how many you killed. It's more than just, did we complete this the fastest? So you don't have to start at the same time. You could just do a competition that
weekly,
week.
Yeah.
Pick 3 guys, and there you go. You have all week to do it. That'd be pretty awesome.
Well, I have a question for you. It's not just quickly. Are you going by your notes or are you going right down here? Because
I'm going by notes.
Okay, I was saying because there's some stuff you skipped for sure.
Yeah. And feel free to bring out. I'm just hitting highlights, kind of just what I.
Well, I think you skipped some highlights.
Okay, tell me what I skipped.
The challenge cards that we didn't know what they were last week.
Yeah, challenge cards.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused on the challenge cards. So you explain it to me.
I mean, I'm just by what they said, it's in 1.1.3, which is that the March one?
Yeah, I think it's March.
Well, whichever one challenge cards are coming in. There'll be a challenge card that drops from completing a Nightfall. It has some customization options to help tune the challenge level to what you and your fire team are capable of. And they do have a little screenshot. And it shows score multiplier 2.5, 2.15, power handicap 10, and when present in your inventory, blah, blah, blah. So it just seems kind of like more modifiers, but it's just kind of like, okay, you beat it. Cool. Here's some more, like here, almost like like a challenge mode, like the raid used to have.
Okay, so that's where I got confused because I was reading it and I was thinking about all the basically modifiers that you get from the prestige mode, but these are different. This is because, like it said in that challenge card, it shows solar damage increases slightly from all sources. So this is like one that you can just put on there, I guess. Like you can actually choose it.
Yeah. But it
from
also
the
said you
card.
could choose that in, was it in the prestige too? They said they were ones you could pick. They were like selectable modifiers or something.
It might be the same thing as this Nightfall challenge. Maybe it applies to the prestige as well.
And this one you have to beat the I don't know.
I don't know, but
We'll see.
I think those challenges I read out earlier, which I hadn't read one of them, the power modifier, which you can voluntarily decrease power for more points. That sounds like something that you would choose to do, not just like the way it's phrased, voluntarily decreases
Right.
power. You would choose to do that in prestige, which is weird because I guess you would choose to do extinguish too for a certain amount of more points. I don't know. I guess that's the way it works. It's kind of unclear between the challenge card and the prestige Nightfall.
Yeah, they sound kind of similar.
Yeah, but they also sound that prestige ones are more extreme for sure, and we for sure know that we get bonus stuff for doing these ones in the prestige. It's just a matter of, how the challenge card works and all of this. Does it apply to both and,
Right.
Get extra points from those? But it all sounds cool, though. I love all of it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm with it.
So
And rewards.
that all
Did
sounds
you talk about
great.
rewards?
We talked to
Yeah.
somewhat with the emblem and getting other emblems, strike specific stuff, which we not getting yet. They said they're implementing later on down the line.
I do like. Well, I don't know. I don't know that he did say it was going to be down the line. Did he?
No, he said.
Oh no, that was in the roadmap. That's right.
It was in the roadmap, but also in this, he at the very beginning of talking about Nightfalls, he's giving the vision. He's like, first part of this will be implemented now. Second
Right.
part, or in the next, February, end of February update.
I just hope, like the way he says it here. I think this was Chris Barrett at the very beginning.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
terrible villain that players face should have a very rare and powerful, unique item themed to them that tumbles to the ground as they collapse into a pile of bones. Love the idea.
It's perfect. Yeah.
However, I'm hoping, and I can't. Before this podcast, I would have said there's no way they would do it this way, but then they
Okay.
made 2v2 doubles where I'm gonna cry. But I hope it's not just you beat the Nightfall, you get it. Like he didn't say it has a chance to tumble the ground. It says when you
Yeah.
kill him. If it's just you beat this Nightfall, you get that thing. That's it should just be the same way it was in D1. Like you have a chance to get it, run it again.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like it should have some sort of grind, but they are very much on that page of getting reward for doing the thing. You get it for sure. They've kind of changed to that here, except for the one exception to that is in the raid. That new raid ghost is super rare, and so there are still things. So maybe strike specific Nightfall loot would be one of those things.
I would hope, because otherwise you just do all the Nightfalls for a month or a month and a half, and you got all the strike-specific gear.
But if Nightfalls are as challenging as they say, maybe it'll be like only if you
They won't
whatever.
They won't be. The Prestige might, but the regular Nightfall, they still want to include everybody.
Well,
that's
that
how
would
it's
be
gonna
cool. That would be cool if you did Prestige, then you got it for sure, and then you had a lesser chance if you just did the Nightfall, normal, and then if you're just doing a normal strike, then there's like a very rare chance, something like that.
I'd be down with that. I don't think they'll go that in depth, but I would really like that. I like that idea a lot, but I don't think they will.
Yeah. Well, they've also made that, so that's a ton of changes to Nightfall. I'm just overall, even if these aren't the exact things that I want in the game, the amount of like dev feedback that we're getting in these TWABs and improvements every single week as far as transparency and letting us know what they're working on, and the variety of changes that they're making, not just to like, you have people working on the sandbox that they're trying to get all that stuff. They made changes to rewards already. They're changing the way the seasonal stuff, Iron Banner and even Crimson Days, they've changed the way the rewards are working there. And now they're working on Night. There's just so many different moving parts right now. And they're trying to improve literally every aspect of the game. And I've just been really impressed with that week to week. Even though I haven't been here on the podcast, I've just been listening and reading. And it's like, man, every single time they're doing something else, to improve this game. And so not only did we get Nightfall stuff, but also we got some raid changes coming up. The prestige mode hasn't come out for the raid layers yet, but they said with expansion 2, they're going to release both prestige modes for both raid layers. And they'll have modifiers on them, but they'll also have curated loadouts for these prestige modes. So not only will you have like a precision shots do more damage this week, but also you must have equipped an auto rifle, a risk runner, and a grenade launcher or something like that for the prestige. And that just sounds like insane to me. And also like like a curated loadout. We've never had anything like that. And it gives me a lot of hope for one day modes for the Crucible. Even like immediately I started daydreaming, like, what if we had a Crucible playlist that changes curated loadouts every week? You have to use hand cannons and pulse rifles and sniper rifles, and that's all you can use. Like that would be awesome. I would love to see something like that come around. But I'm getting off track. Raid stuff.
There's not going to be a second raid layer yet, right?
Well, they said for all raid layers, expansion 2. That made it sound like multiple to me, even though there isn't announced one yet.
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
You didn't read it as that?
No. Because to me, they haven't mentioned anything about the second raid layer, which I thought was supposed to come with the second expansion, right?
Yeah, I thought so as well too. They haven't mentioned it, but just the way this was phrased, that's kind of what I got from it. Let me see here.
Maybe I'm missing it. That's why I was asking like what part you were talking about, because I didn't read anything like that.
Yeah. I just remember them saying somewhere in there. I'm looking for it as well right now. So today I'm happy to announce that we've decided to push this feature forward and release it for all the Leviathan raid Okay, so it wasn't raid layer. You're right.
Yeah.
Leviathan raid content. So basically, the regular Leviathan raid will have this prestige with modifiers and curated loadouts as well, which is really exciting to me because I would love, it's like what Datto would make his own challenges. Like we all have to use hand cannons and we have to use grenade launchers to finish the boss, and now they're kind of like letting everyone else experience that, or forcing everyone else to experience that, but I think it could be cool for people who love doing the raid and want to, it creates a different experience every week if you're someone who raids every week.
Well, I think even more exciting or at least more important than like the like curated loadouts, the rotating stuff, is just the fact that this whole thing is covered by Joe Blackburn, is the one who did this part, and he was saying for Destiny 2 we wanted to release raid content on a more regular cadence. In our original estimate, and that's what they talked about, a raid and then 2 raid layers like each year, right? That's kind of what they made it sound like. In our original estimation, we knew we would have to focus on normal modes, forgoing layer challenge modes, and having their prestige modes rely on enemies that are more lethal and harder to kill. So that sounds like going back to the days of Crota, right? Which I'm fine, because if we're getting 3... Because let's be honest, the raid layer was about the size of Crota as a raid. Yeah. So I was okay with that. Now they're saying they want to do more. So that's why it got pushed back so far. So they've been trying new ways, which I know some of the stuff you talked about was that stuff, but of adding difficulty and replayability to raid activities. So today I'm happy to announce, and that's the part you were saying, and it'll be normal mode all the time, and then each week one or the other will have the curated loadout, which I like. It's just like they said, it's different than what they thought they were going to do. They thought they were just going to make the enemies harder and push out a new raid raid layer every few months. So that's all.
Yeah, I like this though over
and a special modifier, by the way.
Besides and a modifier. Yeah. So I like this over just making enemies harder. Like this is a lot more interesting to me. And actually pushes me to want to do the content. Because when I first saw people run through the prestige mode, and it was literally just the same thing I'm talking about for
Leviathan,
yeah, just the normal raid. When I first saw people run that, and I was like, man, this just looks really difficult. Like it doesn't look fun to me. It just looks really hard, and the rewards weren't any different, And so it was just like, I don't have any desire to do that, really, So this is actually looks really different and interesting.
Yeah, and it's definitely, it would make it interesting. It could make it more difficult. I just think that the success of those changes rely quite a bit on the sandbox changes coming the month and a half prior.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those things that it's kind of a double-edged sword. Okay, it's cool. You have to do this to beat this raid layer, right? You have to use this loadout. However, even if the weapons, if say it's hand cannons and scouts, like they had said in the first one, which granted, this isn't set in stone. This is just hypothetical. But on console, people hate hand cannons and scout rifles. Not everybody, but don't you worry to a point that this is going to have some people go unless the rewards are really good and the sandbox changes are good, that people are going to be like, I don't want to use a hand cannon and a scout rifle, and there's nothing I want. I'm not fucking doing it this week.
I mean, that's going to go regardless of whether, no matter how interesting this is, or no matter what this is, if there's no reward, if there's no carrot at the end of the stick like that, there has to be something different from the normal raid that is worth doing.
Do you think it would have been better to just be a locked loadout? Once you go in, you can't change weapons?
No, I like this more. I just think it depends on the rewards at the end, like you were saying. That's what I think.
Well, then they better be good. Because I'm not saying but I know that there'll be people, and it may be me sometime, that I'm like, those weapons, I hate using those weapons. I don't care to do it this week. I'll just wait. Whereas,
really?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no reason to do it, but just to do it, if I could get the same thing next week, and say it's just a really shitty set of guns that don't work well in the raid or whatever it may be, and I'm just kind of I'm not going to have fun with it, so I'll just skip it.
Yeah, if I tried it and it was terrible, then I would feel that way. But I'm assuming that PvE players, because I'm, obviously I'm more of a PvP player. I'll admit that I'll try something new in Crucible before I do in PvE. And so I'm assuming that PvE players treat PvE content kind of the way I do Crucible. And if there's something that drastically changes the way I play, like a set loadout, I would jump into the Crucible right away if they put this on it, one of these required loadouts. And I think that PvE players would do the same. You don't think so?
I think you would be in the minority with that. Maybe that's just my opinion. Okay. But I think there's a lot of people who look at it as, I want to play the way I want to play. Don't force me to do
I could see that too. I could see that. Yeah.
So, I'm not saying it would be an end of the world type of thing. I just, at first blush, first looking at this, I think it might have been cooler to, or maybe more beneficial for the community as a whole, because you're always going to have both sides.
Yeah.
But to maybe just do it locked loadouts like Trials is. Because then you pick what you want, but that's what you use. Now it's they pick what they want, and that's what you use.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see how the PvE community, and we'll especially have, this isn't coming till May, so it's a while till we get this, but I think rewards will play a big part in it, and how the community responds to it will play a big part in it. So I guess we'll see on some of this stuff. There's some other stuff as far as like fixes that are coming. But before I jump into that, I just remembered all of this is making me think about we're talking releases and the way raids are and stuff. Activision did its earnings report recently, and I don't have all that information in front of me right now, but I just wanted to bring it up because they were saying there's going to be a big fall
A
release,
major content release.
major content release in the fall. And so in my mind, I'm like, that sounds like, the Taken King kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected that, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. But just to hear it, it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it gets me a little excited. That's
Does
when, and I know. So that's basically it. The only other thing they talked about how they had more staying power with the expansion, the first expansion for Destiny 2 than they did with the first expansion for Destiny 1.
Really?
Yeah, the wording of it was really funny. I don't have it in front of me right now, and it sounded like it could have meant more people bought the expansion for Destiny 2 than Destiny 1, but it also sounded like they could have meant like they had more people sticking around.
I can't imagine that, man.
I can't imagine it either, but that's what it said in the report.
We've seen some of the numbers and they are not good.
I know, it's crazy. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I missed the only part of the earnings call thing I saw was that they said there was a major content release slated for fall, which is exciting but expected. Did you see? I think it was a non-pig tweeted out. Someone sent him artwork for it. Did you see that? He was like, "What do you guys think about this?" And it was funny because it showed the Taken King original leaked artwork versus Rise of Iron versus some of the older ones. And it looked really cool. But it was also called the Taken Queen, which, while that would fit because we think it's going to be Savathun, I think it was him commenting on his own post said like this seems like too much of an inside joke with the community for Bungie to actually name it that. Like that would be kind of lame.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really want like it to be Savathun, and
right. I'm fine with that, but do you really want it to be called the Taken Queen? Like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
That's
and I kind of want it
not.
Like, I kind of want it not to be taken too, like it to be something different,
Well, if it's Savathun, it's taken.
There's something else too with that. Oh gosh, what was it? I was thinking about. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. I was something the Taken Queen and like that new expansion made me get on the mindset of something, but I can't remember what it is now. I'm totally lost. Other thing with the Activision report, they were talking about how successful Destiny 2 was with its launch. I can't remember that. Man, I should have written down notes for at least this part. Boss. I know, bad podcast host. Because it isn't as relevant of information on like stuff that we're getting right now, but basically it had been successful with the launch, but this is me summarizing. But several times people asked about the status of Destiny 2, and they said that they're actively working. Multiple times they stated that they're actively working on addressing the community's concerns, and I feel like that's true. Like it feels like Activision saw what was going on in Bungie's community and gave them kind of permission to like I feel like there was a dramatic shift, in communication. We've seen it, but also in the changes we're seeing week to week or month to month for sure. It's almost as if it came top down from Activision. Like we see Bungie gave them the numbers of how many people are playing, and Activision's like, yes, take care of this. Devote resources to this.
I would definitely think so, because if you look, I pulled up the summary of the earnings call, and it's Activision Blizzard. So there's 3 companies. There's Activision, Blizzard, and King, which I don't even. Oh, the maker of Candy Crush. Total, their revenue was $2.64 billion versus a $2.55 billion expected overall. So that's good, right? The whole thing is good.
Yeah.
But if you go down, Blizzard made $599 million versus $526 expected. King 516 versus 508 expected. Activision 1.34 billion versus 1.4 billion.
Mm.
So they underperformed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, no matter whose fault it is, when things start underperforming, your boss goes, you need to fix this shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, it's one of those things. We'll see, but I'm sure that they aren't super happy about it.
Yeah.
The numbers
for sure.
are low. Well, it's just a fact.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll find out more about Activision's behind the scene workings of all of this as time goes on, as we did with Destiny 1. But there is, I'm not quite done with the TWAB yet. Did you have anything else to say about the Activision stuff?
I'm just kind of looking at it real quick.
Yeah. So the last thing on the TWAB, they put in some update about the lost sector issues that we were having since they patched it for Faction Rally and all of this. So they had that 10-minute cap, and then they moved it down to 5 minutes, and they were like, we realize this is not the way it should be.
They did move it down to 5 minutes?
They did, and then now he's saying they're changing it again this Tuesday. They're coming out with another little hot fix coming with Crimson Days. Basically, it's getting snuck in there. And you'll be able to go to lost sectors as fast as you want. I'm summarizing. There's no cap. Sometimes the chest will be in the lost sector if you leave and come back, but there won't be a reward. It'll say like,
code,
hey, you need the
whatever,
key.
Yeah,
Code. Yeah. And so,
which is exactly how it should be.
Yes. It was like, Destiny spaghetti code, and they had to mess with it and get it to work right. But they acknowledge two things in this post that are really cool. One thing they acknowledge is like, hey, we realize it shouldn't have been this way. We're sorry, like that we knew that there was a better fix, or not that they knew, but they wanted it to be different than that. And then secondly, they want to acknowledge the player interest in expanding lost sectors because it's a very interesting concept to the player base, and that they want to work on making them more interesting, and they'll let us know what they have in mind in a future This Week at Bungie, basically. But it's exciting to me that they want to expand on the lost sectors, because I thought it was a really cool idea when Destiny 2 was first coming out, and it was neat at first until they all popped up on your map and you knew where they all were, and it wasn't really lost.
What was lost? All your fire team members, because they weren't on your map. But when they will be on your map?
Coming the end of this month, right?
I was going to say on Tuesday during PvP.
Is it on Tuesday?
No, the Crimson.
Oh,
days.
The way you separate from your teammate.
Yeah. If you get lost, it'll tell you. It'll tell you where everyone is.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Well, that's all I got from the TWAB. I'm excited for Crimson Days. I'm hopeful that it's not going to be terrible, but there's a chance that it'll be everything that we don't like about Destiny PvP.
Listen, I'm going to be completely honest. This whole TWAB was a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Okay? There's a lot of stuff in it, and you're going to probably think I'm crazy. And I probably am. But all the reservations and concerns I had about the 2v... What is it even called? Because I keep wanting to say Crimson Doubles. No, but the actual PvP mode.
The actual PvP mode? Did they name it other than Crimson Days? They just said...
No, they didn't. 2v2 Crucible... Well, whatever. This new 2v2, as much as all this Nightfall stuff sounds cool, and the raid changes sound cool, and I'm excited for all that... The 2v2 problems that I have, that we've discussed at length earlier in this podcast, if you'd like to go back and listen, they actually bum me out so bad that I think my overall take on this TWAB is below positive.
Really?
I just it just is such a bummer that it went from something that I really like the idea of, and they give us a new mode, and it's not 4v4 and all this stuff, and I think it's going to be awful, and it makes me really sad.
Yeah. Well, and
my foot's really itchy, and that's why I'm squirming around.
Well, you know me, I'm pretty neutral about something until I actually get my hands on it and can play it for myself and make it my own mind. And so I'm going to keep that attitude until I actually play it, and if it sucks, I'll say it sucks. But
See,
I'm just gonna wait and see.
I'm always negative so that I can be pleasantly surprised and never let down.
That's true, just like you did with strike scoring, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, but I didn't really have a reason. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. This, I like look at it logically and I go, this is the opposite of what we've been asking for.
Yeah, I know.
I'm very tempted to again repeat all the reasons I hate it because I'm so upset. Like you don't understand. Like I'm so upset.
Please don't. I'm with you. I'm with you on this. Like I'm with you on the reservations and like the things that I don't like about it. But I just want to wait to see till we get it. Which, next podcast episode 70, 74, we'll be there. 74? Did I say 74? We're on 72 right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. But guess what's coming? Guess what's coming in 4 weeks?
You're counting down till Hovcast 76.
Dongcast 76.
Why has it turned into that?
I don't know. I think Mana named it Dongcast.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for episode 72. Like I think we're done.
Lego, do you want to come to DC with me?
Meet me in DC.
Meet me in DC.
No, I do, but I can't.
Why?
No, it's so far for me, and
we
so
have
close.
planes.
I know we have these things called planes that I could get on.
Yeah.
But I have like a job during the weekend.
Call in sick.
And there's this thing called money that
you're supposed to spend. That's why you have it.
Yeah, or provide for your family, one or the other.
By spending it. That's how you provide. You spend money.
Yeah, I guess I'll just trick my wife into. She'll want to go to DC. She loves DC.
We're staying in the West. Listen, it's dirt cheap right now. We're staying in the Westin.
Okay.
$70.
That is very cheap.
That's very cheap.
Okay, well we'll think about it. Maybe if you're here next week, there's no chance I'm going. But I'm just entertaining the idea for a second.
Lego hates me, guys. Everyone who's listening. Triton at least will pretend and he'll meet me for food sometimes.
Yeah, well, he lives really close, so that's easy for him to do. I would love to meet you for food, Hov. That would be awesome.
Let's go right now. I'll meet you in Tennessee. Is that middle? Is that between us?
That is not. You realize how big Texas is? No, I'm not.
Do you realize how big the United States is? It's bigger than Texas.
Okay, well that's it for this episode of RezoCast, episode 72. This has been Lego, aka Legole Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube.
Just so you know, Tennessee's probably just as close to Texas. It might be closer to Texas. So I'll see you in Nashville.
I just wanted to brag about it, but yeah, okay. Lego LE Flash. You can find me there. Hov, where can they find you?
Right here on Twitch. Sometimes. Twitch.tv/Hov76. On Twitter a lot. Come talk to me. I like Twitter. Let's tweet. Let's twatter.
Let's talk about these changes coming. Tell Hov whether you're positive or negative about. Okay, that's what So we do, iTunes reviews. They're great. If you've been listening for a while, you haven't left one. Tell us what you think about this event. Is Hov right? Is this going to be awful, right? Or are you one of those people that kind of stays neutral? You play it and then it's like, okay, this really does suck, or this is awesome. Let me know what you think, and just you can say Lego's the best or something like that. You missed me the last 3 weeks.
If you're a liar.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone live, everyone on YouTube, on iTunes, on Google Play. We really appreciate all y'all. Appreciate y'all listening every week. Putting up with Hov and Triton and Mana and me. It's been great, guys, and we're excited for next week. We're gonna have a lot to talk about and figure out who was wrong, who was right.
We already know that right now. Did you happen to see? This is a big revelation dating back to early RezoCast days. Did you see the conversation between Maverick and I on Twitter?
No, wait. No, I didn't. I saw the one where you went to his city in Canada and you didn't invite him anywhere. I just
drove through it. But anyway, so he listened to the podcast, so he tagged me and said, what the hell, you went through London and didn't, call me to hang out. I was like, we just drove through. It was last minute. And he told me he was going to fight me, I think. And I said, just so you know, it seems like there's a lot of strippers from London, Ontario. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Tell Candy I said hi. And then somehow it turned into Mindy. And so now apparently Mindy is not only quote unquote real, but she is from London. She is Canadian, by the way.
Okay, so the plot thickens.
Yeah, Triton's not even here for that. I'm a little sad.
I'm still waiting for our next Mindy review. I'm pretty sure we've had one or two. So
I don't know, maybe.
at least Mindy comments on YouTube. That's happened for
So
sure.
even though the podcast is technically over, you can sign off if you want. Can I just stay here and like monologue and talk for a while?
No, definitely not. Okay, so that's it for this week.
But it's my stream.
It is your stream, but I haven't ended the podcast on iTunes yet. People are still listening, Hov.
I know that's what the people want to hear. This is what
okay, Hov. Okay, go ahead, Hov. What do you got for us?
Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. That's what I had.
Okay. Until next time, guys. GG.
GG.